Hey guys, Nolar here. I'm back with Dokkan and Legends. I'm not playing Legends, but I'm here to discuss the stamina systems, the energy systems, act, whatever you want to call it. But I'm not alone. I'm joined by Hydros. Hydros, why don't you say hello?
What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Happy to be here.
Yeah, so you know, if you guys don't know, Hydros does the majority of my thumbnails, and so when I asked him to you know, hey, can you make this thumbnail? Because I was thinking about doing the discussion, and he started listing some stuff, and I was like, you know what? Let's get you on a call. Let's record this and get our thoughts going. So appreciate that you're here, and yeah, let's get into it. So I'm gonna do a quick, brief overview of what the stamina system is for both Dokkan and Legends, because they're very different because they are two different games with two different philosophies, right? So first and foremost, Dokkan is a casual PvE only gacha game, and with that in mind, there's a reason why the act, at least on JP or to everyone else on global, the stamina system is the way it is. So, you know, I think what is it when you start up with rank 1? What's the stam, like 20?
Stamp. I think it's like 20, 25, something like that.
Yeah, so when you start a brand new Dokkan account,
weird.
It's been so long since I started a Dokkan account, so I have to make a guess here. But yeah, you get like 20 stam, and every event here, like go into, you know, just some kind of story event for you guys. It takes, you know, stamina, and it regens at what, 5 minutes, or at least right now, 5 minutes for one stamina. So you do a stage that costs, you know, 15 stam, then like an hour and a bit later you'll get those back, yada yada yada. But as you rank up, as you can see, yeah, I'm rank 999, but other people, you know, are rank 250, 300. As you rank up, you get more stamina, so it's an incentive for you to, you know, keep playing. The more you play, you get experience to rank up, and you know, get more stamina, blah blah blah. But let's say you know, you're starting out an account, you need to awaken a bunch of units. You got to run Dokkan events, and they cost, at least now, 25 stam. This is not the days of the old days where Dokkan events was 50 stam, guys. So anyways, you run an event and it costs 25 stam, but let's say you need to run it 11 times. You don't have inherently all that stamina, you know, 200, was that 75 stam? You might have to refresh or wait, one of the two. And because this is a more casual oriented game, and the reason why I say that is because you could play this for 5 minutes and put it down, or you could play for 5 hours and then put it down. So the stamina system is kind of there to either encourage you to stop and just take a break, or you can use a premium currency, in Dokkan's case, Dragonstones, to refill your current stam bar. So obviously, when I'm at rank 999, it's better for me to use stones, because I get a full, what is that, 309 stamina, because that's my full stam bar. Versus if I was rank 1 and I use 20, I mean, I have a maximum of 20 stam, using a stamina Dragonstone would only give me 20 stam. So, but there comes a point where you're like, I need to get these done, I don't want to wait too long, I'm just going to spend it, which is fine. That's the way it is. So the point I'm trying to make here is, because Dokkan is primarily PvE, its scaling of stamina is concurrent with its ranking system. So you can be ranked 500, and if you compare to someone to rank 800, well, the rank 800 person is going to have way more stam potential than, say, you at rank 500. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because this is the design of the game. You know, that's the way it is, and that's why we have stamina the way that is. Now, compare that to Legends, which, let me go home here. Where's my Legends? I haven't logged in the Legends account in a long time, but here we go. So we're at Legends now, and, whoops, hit something there. It's only got 10 stam. Now, the purpose of Legends is primarily a PvP-oriented game. So, and for that, you don't have to, you know, use any stam to play PvP at all. You just queue up and you go. So because this is primarily a PvP style game, their stam system is very different. Now, it takes, what is it, 20 minutes for one stam bar, or one stamina refresh? So what is that?
Yeah, it's about 20.
Yeah, so it's like, what, 3 hours and 20 minutes to completely fill up your stamina? And so
I guess Dokkan would be similar, because Dokkan takes, what, 5 minutes
for one
on its regular.
Yeah, without any reduction or anything, yeah. So with Legends, the biggest thing is it's primarily PvP, and the point of any mobile game, I should have made this clear, is they want you to stay as long as you can in the app, right? So the thing with Dokkan, which is kind of weird in a way, is because until what, 6 months ago, we finally got stamina refreshing, like the meats in Dokkan.
Yeah, we got the stamina items that gives you certain amounts of stamina depending on which one you use.
Right, so we never had before. The only way to refresh your stam was literally Dragon Stones. Now, which is the premium currency. Now we have items that can give you some stamina to kind of go through. With Legends, they've always had this 10 stam bar thing, and it doesn't scale. That's like you forever have 10. Level Z level 1 to Z level, like who's the highest level, like 400 or something like that. They forever share the same stam bar, which is 10. And the design is made this way because the idea is, hey, I'm gonna do some PvE events, you know, just real quick, do a couple fights and drain my stamina, and then I'm gonna go do PvP for like an hour. And by the time I'm done with my PvP events or fights and matches, I come back, I regen a couple more stam. So like it's supposed to be a nice ebb and flow of you go to PvP, you spend like half an hour or however long it is, you come back, and then you go back to PvE and you spend that, and it's just a kind of a nice cycle. However, Legends has a bunch of issues because their PvE events are not balanced in my opinion. But anyways, that's the quick overview between the difference of Dokkan and Legends. Anything you want to say about that, Hydros?
In regards to Legends PvE, yeah, they don't do anything exciting for PvE at all. They haven't even like really brought new ones. They just refresh the old ones. So it's like, you know, why?
Yeah, like I said, this is primarily a PvP game, but of course they need PvE stuff. And ironically, even though it's a, you know, dedicated PvP game, I think it's only 30 to 40% of the player base actively plays PvP, and that number might be a lot lower now because of the state of the game, but I'm just saying, like, in general, if for a PvP focused game you would expect at least like more than half of your players playing it consistently, but no, it turns out more people play PvE than they do PvP. And so the fact that the events aren't really enticing, there aren't enough good events to begin with, or new events I should say, just something to keep you fresh, there's none of that stuff, right? Like, I go to the events, granted, I haven't been playing since I quit like a month and a half ago or 2 months ago at this point. And again, I could be wrong, but like there's not enough incentive to actually use the stamina bar, right? Like that's the point I'm trying to make, is there's not enough stuff to make me be like, oh, I really want to go in and you know, do these events and stuff. So
yeah, there's nothing really that makes you like excited to want to do anything PvE wise at this point of the game. It's such a stale state to where it's like, I don't even want to waste stam tickets.
Oh yeah, which brings, I should have brought this up back again, which to refresh your stamina here, we have energy tickets or stam tickets or however you want to describe it. So hey, you use a stick, you get back 2 energy. Well, the problem with PvE in this game is like the farming system. Like a gacha game in general is all about farming. There's a lot of things to do, and the stamina system is supposed to gate you. So like in Dokkan, yeah, you get to be pulled into you want to awaken it, you got to spend 275 stam to get all the medals to awaken it. Well, I'm lucky I have 309, but other people don't, so they have to either wait for their stamina to naturally regen, or they spend the meats or spend a dragon stone to refresh it. So same thing here, the same concept, but the problem is because the grind for specific units is really long, and you don't want to actively, like, here's the problem with PvE. Once I finish the event, I never want to play it again, like actively fight and play it, because there's no difference in terms of rewards of me joining the fight and playing manually versus me skipping the event with skip tickets, right? So
yeah, I think a lot of that is also because there's not really an awakening system. I guess you could argue that Zenkai kind of is, but it's really not, because you're not awakening anything. Like, there's nothing to do with these events. You farm a unit, you're done. You farm enough Zenkai souls or just souls in general, it's okay. Well, I'm done. I don't need any more. You could literally just farm up your max amount and be done for however long you need it to be, and that's pretty much it. You don't have to touch it again.
Right. So that's kind of the issue with PvE here, where to me you don't have to do it. Once you finish the event once, that's it. You don't have to farm it again, like manually. And then it becomes a skipped ticket simulator, right? And what makes it atrocious, and why part of the reason why I gave up, was because I would be sitting there for an hour just refilling my stam and hitting the skip tickets consistently over and over again. There's nothing engaging, nothing fun about it in that regard. So that's why personally I was just like, I'm over it. That's the end of that. But to me, that's kind of the core of the problem, is that there's nothing engaging PvE wise that uses the stamina to bring me back in and like make me excited to play it. You know what I mean?
I think they also, when you're playing a PvE event, a lot of the times the bots just suck. So I feel like they know this and they're just like, hey, people are just going to skip ticket this anyway. We can just make them suck.
Right.
Unless it's like one of the rising battles, like those I thought were pretty fun. They haven't done a rising battle sparking or whatever it was called since was it Vegito? Was he the last one? One of them? They haven't done one since that. They only have 3 of them?
Yeah.
The rest of the time it's the other ones, the whatever, I can't remember.
Goku Ginyu and there's a few other ones. Yeah.
Broly, Vegito, Goku Ginyu. And maybe one more I can't be asked to remember.
Yeah, no, I get it. So yeah, they like, again, there's no engaging, like Rising Battles was good. Like I would have done that over and over again, and that's fine. But what they make you do to grind characters, because they gave, like, I felt like they gave themselves a trap because they put in the skip tickets, and normally skip tickets are just supposed to be like, hey, I don't have time. Let me just burn my stamina. Like in other gacha games I played, this usually skip tickets are very scarce because they want you to actually play and stay in the app as long as possible. But average person, you're talking an adult, it's got to work 9 to 5. So like during their lunch break, they can't play for like an hour or whatever. So they'll just log in, use some skip tickets to burn their energy, and then log out, and then after work they'll play. So they kind of like dug themselves in a hole where they're like, yeah, we'll give them skip tickets because that's kind of the standard for gacha games. But they made the grind so atrocious that they're like, well, now everyone's going to just skip ticket everything. You know what I mean? And that's how it ends up being the case. I was like, yeah, I mean, you kind of pigeon yourself into that situation. So
the main reason the skip ticket grind is so bad is because you can only use 10 at a time, because you can only use 10 stamina at a time. And they could do many things to fix this, and also just the fact that your inventory is limited to 2,000 bugs me to no end anyway. But just the fact that you can only use 10 at a time is why? That's like, let me use 100 or something. If I have the ones to burn, let me burn out 100.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Otherwise, I'm just cycling through menus every like 2 seconds, just like, okay, well, this is just getting really boring at this point.
Yeah, the menu simulator is basically what I described it. Like, there's some games that just have really good flow. This one doesn't, honestly. There's just
take the game, release it on Steam as menu simulator. People will love it.
Exactly. They won't even play actively. They'll just use their mouse, which is more effective than just, I'm gonna touch it here and there, blah blah blah. So yeah, guys,
just get an auto clicker at that point.
You're not wrong.
I actually started doing that because I hated doing it. Like, I mean, I know Legends has an auto button, but it doesn't like auto you through the event multiple times. Like how Grand Cross does, you can continue the event over and over and over and over again.
Right.
If the auto button was like that would be way better, but it's not.
All right, yeah,
it kinda sucked on that.
So you were saying, like, if they could give you more than, so like, if they kept the limit of 10 stam, right, as their bar, but you're like, if I could go over it, so I could use my
like,
skip
let's
tickets.
Say like Dokkan, if you have like, even if your max is 275, but you're at like 150, you can actually go into the menu where you can where your replenish stamina little button is in the Baba shop or whatever, wherever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually replenish your stamina past your actual limit and go over it.
Right.
Legends could do that in a sense if they want to keep that 10 stamina system. Let it go over 10 times, like have like a little 10x next to the thing and say like, you know, your stamina bar has been filled 10 times, so you have 100 stamina, and then let me use 100 skip tickets all at once. That'd be a nice fix. I'd like that.
Yeah, because you like we said, it's menu simulator. So if you could get rid of going through menus so many times, I would be okay with that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, what if it was just regular 10, but then it would be concurrent, like I'm gonna fill up 100, therefore use 100 skip tickets or whatever, like 50 skip tickets, you know, and you just burn them at the same time.
I think I also brought it the point to where, like, if you use skip tickets, like you go 10, but if you go over that amount, it'll dip into your stamina, your energy ticket pool. And I guess maybe give them the option to choose which ones that you want to go to first. You know, if like you have multiple, like 2 stam tickets,
right?
Let them use that one first before dipping into your times 10s, and you know, have it automate that system to where, okay, this player is using 15 skip tickets. Let's dip into the pool of times 2 and kind of give him the general, like the necessary amount, even if it's like 1 over or whatever. Give him the necessary amount to keep going, so that we can use that 20 skip tickets at one time.
Yeah. So there's ways they could design it better or get around it, I should say, but they didn't, or they're not willing to.
I feel like during the second year, it was very new player friendly, and they're focusing a lot on that right now. And it's like, you need to focus on the end game people as well. You know, you need to fix things that need to be fixed, and the stamina system is one. Like, the stamina system is terrible. Like, please do something.
Yeah.
Because once new players get to that end game type of content, which I don't know if really there is an end game for Legends. It's literally just do PvE, then go PvP all you want. It's not really an end game type of content like I guess Dokkan could have. But yeah. Like, even grinding stuff in PvE, I guess you get awakening items in the you know, the souls and stuff, but and soul boosting, I don't consider that an awakening. I consider that like hidden potential. Yeah, so it's not like in Dokkan you can grind your awakening medals, awaken your characters, work to make the character better. In Legends, there's nothing of that except for Zenkai, which now they removed the grind for Zenkai, and that made me mad.
And I agree. You know, we're going a little off topic, but I think that the problem with Zenkai is there was no need to remove the free Zenkai 1, honestly. Even though people keep saying, well, it's just 1,000 crystals. I'm like, well, that's 1,000 less you would spend on a new banner or a banner you care about, a step up, whatever. So you're just redirecting your resources elsewhere when you don't need to. So I could go on a whole rant on that onto itself, but
if you want to use that 1,000 stones, that could be 1,000 stones towards your stamina system, because you can also use crystals for stamina in Legends, and it's also crap.
Yeah, and so that's another thing that we didn't mention yet, is that they utilize the same concept of capping refreshing stamina as like other games, other gacha games or collector games like Marvel Strike Force, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, Arc Knights used to do the same thing. They basically say, yeah, you can refresh your stam with currency, but we're going to cap you, or we're going to make it cost prohibitive. So here it's like, what, the first 2 stam refreshes using chrono crystals is 10, and then it's 20.
It's every 2 it goes up, so it goes 2 10s, 2 20s, 2 30s, 2 40s, 2 50s.
Right.
I think that's like a max. Is it like it's like a max of what, 300 or something, 200, 250, something like that?
Yeah. So that's actually not that bad. But the thing is, let's say I'm completely out of energy tickets and skip tickets, and I just really want to farm like purple souls because I'm trying to Zenkai somebody, right? So they intentionally cap you and saying, nope, that's it, you can't go further. And with the other games, it's supposed to level the playing field in terms of grinding resources for free-to-play and whales. Like, whales are always going to they're going to spend the refreshes for 10 or 20, right? And they're going to get ahead, but they don't want to get you, they're trying to cap them so they're not so far ahead that they just completely obliterate the free-to-play just due to their advantage of farming. So that's why they cap that. But the problem is with Legends, there is no like gear system that you like need to farm lucky drops to like upgrade people. There's, like you said, there's no awakening. The soul system is just like, okay, they have the full potential, you just need to get to whatever 700% in using soul. So the fact that they actually cap you, like, and again, for the most part, people don't really spend CC to refresh their energy, because they usually have skip tickets and energy tickets. But like, let's say there's a Legends Road unit that's getting a Zenkai. Those things eat an absurd amount of skip tickets and energy tickets, you know, if you're trying to get it all done.
Yeah.
And so for those people, they're
I
like,
think I wasted all my times 10 on those at once, and I was like, that makes me upset that I couldn't use more crystals.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just like, there's no real need to have a cap on the stem or on the refreshes, at least to me, because there's no advantage of you refreshing a unit faster, at least in my mind. I don't know, it just, to me, it just makes no sense.
Kind of like Dokkan maxing you out to limit your stamina refresh to like what, maybe equivalent, maybe let's like 2 stones or something. Like you can only refresh your stamina 2 times with 2 stones, or maybe 5 stones, so we'll say 5.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's gonna suck. None of the players would be 999 if that was the case.
Oh yeah, trust me, when I got to 999 on 4 times XP, I burnt 1,000 stones to go from level, I think, rank 750 to 999. And I just like, that's all I was doing, like, okay, refresh. If I was limited, it would have, instead of year 3, me being rank 99, I would have been like year 5, like just this past month, I would have been 999 if they were limiting me on how much I could refresh using Dragon Stones, which is, yeah, it's an archaic system. I think a lot of the time people also say that Legends is more free-to-play friendly. I agree to an extent, but the point of the Legends now, a lot of the times they don't give them, like they used to give out a lot of CC. Now that's they kind of like halved it at this point. Like for the Rising Battles or whatever it is, that not the free sparkings, but the what are they? Space Time Duels or whatever the event is that gives you like, that used to give you like 1,000 or whatever. Now it feels like they capped it, or I think it's still 1,000. I actually can't remember because I haven't done one in a while. Well, but yeah, just
the reason it works for Dokkan, it took them 5 years just to introduce a stamina refresh item. But I feel like it worked for Dokkan. I mean, I rarely ever dip into my stamina refresh items because usually I have the stones just kind of laying around. Because I mean, we have easy A's that give 30. We have every month a new clash that gives another 35-ish or something like that. So I mean, Dokkan is pretty free to play on stones, at least monthly, in comparison to Legends. I mean, you know, again, that's if Legends creates new PvE events. If they just rehash the old ones, it's like, well, you ain't getting nothing.
Right. Yeah. I can't. I think when the people say something's more free to play friendly, the only outlook they look at is the total number of premium currency that they get, but they don't factor in the. Right,
I look at like events and stuff like that.
Right. What they also don't factor is, okay, well then how do they expect you to allocate your premium currency, right? So this is a little off topic, but like Grand Cross gives a lot of diamonds or gems, but the thing is, you got to remember, they're also encouraging people like, hey, you need to spend these on cosmetics, because cosmetics do make a difference if you're trying to be competitive in PvP. So when you're like, okay, if that's the case, take 20 to 30% of your monthly allocated gems away from summoning towards cosmetics. Now how free to play friendly is it? So that's what I tell people, like, okay, you can't look at the bottom number. Like, yeah, Legends last month probably gave like close to 11k CC, but if you're trying to be competitive against Vegito Blue, for example, and you need to spend it on Zenkaiing Android 16, well, that's what, if you're trying to go to Zenkai 3, which is the bare minimum I say to have an effective Zenkai, that's 3k CC out the door. So that means you're only left with 7 to 8k CC to spend on a banner is that really free to play friendly compared to like the month before that? So I'm just saying, when you
8KCC is not a lot. You could get the shaft like anybody's business and not get a unit.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, when people talk about how free to play friendly a game is, they have to look at where the expectations of the game devs are, what their expectations are to allocate those sort resources. Like, is it all just for summoning? Then if you got like 20k CC a month, then that's great. That's fairly free to play friendly, right? But if they gave you 30k CC, but they're like, you got to spend at least 15 of it on cosmetics, and like another 5 on the Zenkai that you absolutely need in order to be competitive in the meta, then you're like, well, now I've only got, you know, like 10k CC. That's not enough for anything. So again, I'm going off on a rant a little bit here, but it's just like the free-to-play concept isn't about the total number of stones or premium currency. It's how they're supposed to be used, or at least the expectations of the devs of how you're supposed to use it. Like in Dokkan, stones, besides stamina refreshes, they're pretty much just for summoning, right? So if they, and the fact that we have endgame content, like you said, the Ultimate Clash every month, EZAs, and boss rushes, or Infinite Dragon Ball History, like we've at least gotten an additional 30 to 60 stones a month out of these just events themselves, right? So
there is also more things that you can actually do. It's not a lot, but it's like a couple more. You can actually, there's a cap, I believe, but you can increase your box space with stones, but there's a limit to it, and then you can increase your stamina bar, I think, with a stone, like your number, and I think there's a cap on that. So it's not a lot, but I mean, you can do that until you max it out. Then that's stones you don't have to worry about spending on that later. So, I mean, that's more to save.
Yeah. So
and more you can use towards your stamina. And as you were talking about Grand Cross, yeah, you have to allocate your gems for cosmetics as well as summons. But summons also help you in terms of your stamina, because you get those coins. You can buy your stamina pots, and also you can get them freely, you know, throughout the game. And there's a good amount of them usually, like from, you know, shops and stuff. But Grand Cross has the stamina pots, which is equal to the Legends energy tickets, and then you also have skip tickets in Grand Cross, which is the same thing as skip tickets in Legends, really. But the difference between the two is you have way more stamina in Grand Cross, and I think the reward output is way better in Grand Cross than it would be in Legends to skip ticket the event, or at least as Legends is currently, because you're limited to doing 10. And you constantly have to recycle the menu. If you're going to get bored of that, it's like, well, this reward really doesn't seem worth it at this point to keep doing this grind. It's not really a grind. It's literally just sitting there tapping your screen. So,
yeah, I mean, two criticisms or things that they can improve. One for Dokkan is like, they could sell those meats, right? The stamina items, Baba points.
They could do it in the Battlefield shop.
Battlefield shop, any of the like exchangeable currencies. Like Dokkan hasn't done it yet. At least for JP, because I know on global you could buy it through the Pilaf's Trove, which is a whole other thing. But with JP, there's like opportunities for them to like make those available besides logins and rewards. It's like, hey, spend 5,000 Baba points to get like 4 of these meats. You know, like whatever currency they want to do, that's fine. At least with Legends, the one thing I will give them is that there's a lot of events with different currencies, and there are skip tickets and energy tickets with those. But here's my problem. Sometimes
the amount they give is kind of stingy.
Right, and here's my problem is the Z Metal shop. You know, you guys know I'm a whale, and it is what it is. I've got 1.5 million Z Metal coins. It is what it is. But there's no skip tickets or no energy tickets in the Z Metal shop at all. Like none. And there's
I feel like even if they monthly limited that'd be nice.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like even if they
refresh.
Yeah, that's what. There's no refresh. And the thing is, like, there's no refresh on the shops in general. Like there should be. Hey, there's got to be a limit. I understand. You don't want people to blow through all their savings or have an overwhelming advantage. I get it, but put in a little time limit. Like, hey, for every 2 weeks or every month or whatever you want it. Hey, you need it. It's there, but they just haven't done it. And it feels so archaic because I kind of feel like they don't play their own game. You know what I mean? Like it's just like you guys don't see the struggle that we have as players. We voice them, but if if you don't do anything about it, it just means that, one, you don't play the game to actually experience the struggle yourself, or and two, if you just don't listen to us, well then that's crappy, but whatever.
I feel like they do it once. They use like the skip tickets. They use 10 at once, and they do it one time. And they're like, it's good. Yeah, it seems okay. Let's just give it to him.
Yeah,
it's like, no, do it for a whole day and see what happens.
You know, and there's other games which is interesting where the devs, like I've talked to a few devs of other gacha games, and they're forced, like these are the smaller teams, right? They're forced to play their own game, free to play. And so when we give feedback and they understand, like, oh, okay, that's why they're saying it, is because like they play it and they're like, yeah, I get it. I don't have enough of this, and so we need to give more of this to alleviate some of the pressure points and stuff. So I just feel like they don't even play their damn game. So anyways,
that's why I feel like when they say, oh, PvP is fixed, it's like, are they playing on a LAN connection, or like what are they doing? Like, there's no lag on LAN, so they're probably getting pretty good connection. So what's going on?
Yeah. No, I feel like they just they don't test it out outside of their parameters, which is in Japan. Like the size of Japan is basically the size of California. So you take the most northern point of Japan and try to do like a peer-to-peer connection with someone in the most southern part of Japan. No lag. Obviously no lag, right? But extrapolate that and like have, you know, Bandai people play in both, or Dimps, I guess in this case, both play in America, like LA to New York. Okay, then you'll see the downside to stuff, you know? So again, I just think they're a little, they just need to expand their testing parameters so they can actually see the global impact of the issues that they run into. But anyways, we went on
the stamp system that they have, like the 10 bars. I can't remember if there was a game that had something similar back in the day, and I don't remember if it was a gacha. I can't remember what it is, but I feel like I remember one game that had something like this. But that system is just so old feeling. It's like, please update it just to be like a numbered system like Dokkan and stuff. Like, I feel like it'd be way easier on them to do that than to worry about this. It just feels like an old system that they thought, hey, this might work. People are going to focus on PvP, so we don't really need a really good stamina system. We'll just use this, you know, kind of old concept, and it should do fine. In reality, it's not.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like there's a lot of things they could have easily fixed. I mean, going to a numbered system and then actually have physical numbers of stam, you know, like 10, 20, 50, whatever. I think that would be a better way. Plus, it would incentivize people from, like, the reason it takes 3 hours and 20 minutes to go from full empty to full energy is that they want you consistently worrying about, okay, it's time to log in now. Like everything they do in Legends right now is you gotta log in all the time, multiple times in a day, because they want to keep you logged into the app. And the reason why, for those who don't know, the longer you stay in the app, more likely you will spend to pick something up, because you're just frustrated. Like, oh, I got beat again. Let me go, maybe if I limit break my unit from 6 stars to red 1, let me go spend like $50 and hopefully try to get the unit, and I could like do better in PvP. Like any way they could keep you in the game so that the more you feel frustrated you would spend, it's good for them. It's good for the bottom line. So that's why, like, people are saying, why is it so short, 3 hours and blah blah blah. And I mean, that's why they want you to come back all the time and stay logged into the game. They don't want you going to Dokkan for like 20 minutes, you know? They want you to stay in Legends forever if they could. So yeah, I think
that's why they had it set up the way they did for like the adventures, because they want you to come back. They want you to go back in, and I mean they made adventures somewhat better by automating it a little bit. And now it's like, okay, we got this far, let's work on the stamina.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. We had the momentum a little bit. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, there's things they could do to improve. Obviously, everything.
Dimps is the little engine that think it could, but it needs to think it can 100%.
Absolutely. All right, so yeah, that's basically my thoughts wrapping up on the stamina difference and energy systems between both Dokkan and Legends. Obviously, I'm a very, very end game Dokkan player, so at this point, you know, I just log in, burn all my stam, and again, now with the link leveling system, if I'm going to, you know, refresh my stamina to keep trying to level up stuff, I burn stones, and I have burned a lot of stones on that.
Imagine if stamina was
Finite.
locked.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was locked like Legends, and you were trying to link level. That would be awful.
Yeah, and I would be so I would be frustrated to the point where I wouldn't want to play much at all, if that makes sense. So I'm glad they don't do it.
I feel like limiting people on the stamina. I get they want people to log in. I get they want people to wait to come back and log in. But limiting the stamina is probably the worst thing they could do for that. To keep, if they want to keep people in the game, don't lock your stamina at a certain point. Like, I mean, it's only for currency, right? I mean, there's no lock on skip tickets and stam tickets.
Yeah.
But I mean, there shouldn't be a lock on currency, at least.
Well, there shouldn't be a lock on a lot of things in Legends. Let's be real. The time gating is stupid. The fact that you can't buy more than 20k CC, again, that is a whale problem. I fully recognize that, but that shouldn't happen either. What's that?
I think Dokkan has that, right? Because they lock at 999 stones. I think
9,999 stones.
Unless you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I remember Truth tweeting that.
Yeah, there is a lock. But to be fair, 9,999 stones is
goes a long way in Dokkan.
Yeah, it goes a long way than 20k CC. 20k CC, you can still get absolutely shafted.
Unless it's the blue boys, then.
Well,
yeah, we don't talk about that, okay? No one ever talks about the blue boys again. So
just leave it at that.
But anyways,
any final thoughts you want to have to wrap up the video here on the stamina systems?
Legends, give us better stamina system, please. I would love you. I might actually play again. Instead of just logging in and going away.
Yeah, well, stamina system might help a little bit, but there's a lot of other problems they gotta fix first before they try.
Sorry, no. I log in, do my free multis, maybe a daily, and then I quit.
Yeah, now we're worth it in that regard. But anyways, thanks a lot, Hydros, for coming by. Again, beautiful thumbnail. Yeah, guys, leave a comment below. What do you think about the stamina systems? I'll have a link to Hydros' channel below too. Yeah, he does primarily Dokkan these days for Uni Dokkan and Trident stuff. So definitely check it out because he's on the bleeding edge on what you can do. And actually, like, some of the stuff might have been adopted in the quality of life updates for Dokkan based on your work, right?
Yeah, where's my credit at?
Yeah. They'll just give you free, like, 2 stones.
I mean, if they adopted the friend system I made with Trident, they'd be good. Yeah, well, that's Dokkan's major issue, but it's the only major glaring issue they have is the friend system. Legends has a lot more stuff on their red list there, but yeah, leave a like if you like the video, subscribe if you're new here, greatly appreciate it, and we'll catch you all next time on the next video. All right, Nolar, Hydros out.